Welcome to Surrogacy Talk with me, your fabulous host and family building expert, Frank Golden. I'll be talking about surrogacy, IVF, and making babies. Welcome back, everyone. This is Frank Golden, and today we actually have a special guest in the studio with us, our most recent hire, Juan Ruiz, my new executive assistant. Good morning, Juan.
Good morning, Frank.
So we will, I'm going to have you kind of give a brief intro about yourself in just a second. And we also have the wonderful, as always, Erica Daybook with us.
Hi, everyone.
So just so everyone knows, Laura Croman is still with us. She was actually recently promoted to a senior surrogate coordinator. So we're very excited that we're building our talent bench and we needed to hire a new assistant. And Juan has been with us for about 2 weeks now, and he's done a great job so far. And Juan, if you could just, kind of give our listeners a little bit of a synopsis about your background.
Sure. Well, I went to school to become an English teacher, so I have a background in English education, pretty much through high school. Previous to this, I was a manager of about over 150 people, and I ran with the customer service department and just made sure that all the day-to-day responsibilities were done.
That is wonderful. And so you kind of touched based on the fact that you managed many different people throughout your career, both in quantity and diversity, which is really great. And so that kind of brings me to what this podcast segment is about. And really, I think what we're going to call it, and it might be a working title here, but bringing service back to the industry or bringing service to surrogacy in general. So when we are looking to expand our team, we're looking for individuals that are service-focused, that have experience in providing customer service, that know how to treat people, that give that warm and fuzzy. And Juan's giving me this look here in the studio. But essentially, Juan is himself a diversity candidate, one member of the LGBT community, and bilingual, right? You speak Spanish.
Yes, sir.
Right. So to have someone like Juan on the team is just amazing. And so kind of diving in here, bringing service back to surrogacy and what does that mean? So myself, I came from a retail management background. And so when I started Golden Surrogacy, I really wanted to create an experience by which we were removing the sterile environment that I think has existed so long in the surrogacy industry. If you look at fertility clinics, it's very sterile, it's very medical, and I think many of the surrogacy agencies that existed and still do exist they model that behavior, which is great to have that sense of professionalism, but we are in an industry where we are embarking on a journey with people and helping them do something that is so intimate and so emotional that you really have to have a sense of people skills and how to take care of them and how to foster relationships. And so just very topical here, one of the most basic things is return phone calls, return emails, treat every communication that you receive from your potential clients, current clients, potential surrogates, and current surrogates with a sense of urgency. It's one of the most important things when people reach out to you. And I think we learned that, right, working in the industry that we came from. When someone reaches out to you, that's your first point of contact with them. Impress them. Take care of them. Make them feel like they're valued. Right, Erica? Erica's like in heavy thought agreeing with me.
Definitely. I also come from a background of customer service in the restaurant industry. So thinking on your feet also and giving those quick responses in an appropriate way is obviously really important for this industry in particular.
And, one of the things I always talk with clients about, too, is that many of the surrogacy agencies that exist are they were founded by previous surrogates who might have saved up some of their base compensation and decided to go into business, and I'm not saying anything's wrong with that, but maybe they didn't have a specific, concentration in business, or how to start a business, or how to do marketing, or, those people skills that are necessary to take care of clients, right? And really cultivate your business and grow it the right way. And then you have another segment of surrogacy agency owners that are attorneys. And let's just be honest, attorneys are not the most people-friendly people that exist out there in the world. They have to look at everything in kind of a black and white setting, and does this coincide with the law and things like that. So you're reaching out to a majority population of surrogacy agencies that do not have customer service focus to their business model, if that makes sense, right, Juan?
100%, yes.
100%. So, one of the things that I brought over from retail was the sundown rule, where if we had an employee or a customer that had an issue, we would try to respond to it and have it resolved by the end of the day, by sundown. Okay, by the time you walk out of the building, it's resolved and taken care of, or at least you've followed up and had a follow-up communication, and there's a plan in place. And so bringing that into the surrogacy agency setting is so critically important, because surrogates and intended parents, they have, like I said in the beginning of the segment, we're dealing with something that's so intimate and so emotional that when they're sitting on the other end of the phone and they're waiting for a response to know, did an embryo transfer get scheduled? Is my surrogate attending her appointments? How's everything going? Or even in the preliminary stages when intended parents are waiting for a match, are we following up with them in a timely manner? Are we letting them know what the status of their potential match is? If they have a question about maybe something they noticed on an escrow statement, are we following up? Are we treating the financial aspects of their journey with importance as well? So applying that and bringing that over to the surrogacy industry side of things has just been critically important. And I feel like that's another key component that's missing. And then just an overall sense of caring. When people call us, and I know we have a million things to do throughout the day, Juan, you can attest to the fact, what does my email look like?
It's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous, right? So we have a million and one things that we're doing at any one given time. And I know that it's hard to balance and have proper time management skills. I get that. But when an intended parent reaches out, or a surrogate, we need to treat them like they matter, like they really do care. And every case is unique. And I know that many agencies have many multiples of cases going on at any one given time. And if someone calls, it might even be difficult to remember who they are, what's going on in their specific case. One of the things that we've done is we've invested in very specific customer relations management software that helps us with that. And it's important that when we're onboarding surrogates and intended parents, that we remember a few key specific things about them that make them unique. So that maybe if we do have a problem with time management, we can't remember every little detail, that we know a few things about that client or that surrogate that makes them unique, that we can connect with them on that topic when they give us a call, to really hold their hand, make them feel supported, make them feel like they actually matter to us, they care. And so these are some of the key fundamental things that we do here at Golden Surrogacy. Aside from the fact that I was an intended parent myself, I've been on the side of the spectrum where you're waiting for a response, and if you don't hear back, instantaneously, then you are, oh my goodness, what's going on? I get that, and that's how I run Golden Surrogacy. Do you have anything to add? I see you shaking your head, Erica.
I have so much to say. Going back to our CRM in the back end of our website and how much care is put into that. As the communication specialist, I look into those profiles and just see where we're at, and like to keep up to date with everything, and make sure that I'm staying aware of all the cases. And you can just see in there notes from the surrogate coordinators that are so detailed, to the point of surrogate X really likes to talk about this and kind of likes to ease into conversation, and then she wants to talk about more, serious stuff like deadlines or whatever. And those notes are in there so that if they're not there to answer the call, we can gauge their personalities right away and respond accordingly. So Frank's really trained the surrogate coordinators to be very emotionally involved with the surrogates and to treat this as an emotional journey, because it is for everyone.
So Erica's correct when the surrogate coordinators, the role of a surrogate coordinator cannot be overstated at all. And our surrogate coordinators, they go into our CRM and they put very detailed notes in there, paragraph detailed notes. And you're right, it's helpful for you. You get to go in there and see you know.
And see like how to communicate with this person. And again, we are a small, very, I like to say, nice little cozy office. And if someone does call and someone's out for lunch, or there's an issue that is urgent, again, with those being immediate to respond to things, we want to make sure that all of us can respond to any given situation at any given time. So having those notes in there, again, to the point where their personality is kind of outlined, is incredibly helpful, and is one of the reasons why I enjoy working here. It's not a numbers game. It's just really, really cool emotional connections with all of our clients, and watching their families grow and the baby bumps grow, and it's just been really cool. So yeah, hiring customer service folk like Juan has been awesome. And when you're in retail and somebody's having a bad day, a customer, and they can't find their size, or their meal, in my experience in the restaurant industry, their meal's 2 seconds later than it should have been, it is like the biggest deal in the world. And you have to act like it's the biggest deal in the world to make them feel better, and then come up with a solution. In this situation, when we're dealing with like human life and this really amazing, intense emotional journey, it is a really huge deal. And all of us here are personally connected to, I think, surrogacy in whatever way it is, whether it be personal family history, or Juan is a member of the LGBTQ community himself. We actually feel that urgency. It's part of the retail component. Like, we get that. We get the customer service, but also because we care. So the two together should really make our team even more dynamic than it has been. And I'm excited to see where it goes, Frank.
I'm super excited about it. And I think, my just listening to you talk about that is, I would hope in the future that more surrogacy agencies take a look at their staffing. And, it's great to hire someone with a bachelor's degree and a master's degree. All of our staff has a degree, but I think you really need to look at what they have done in their previous work life history, because it's very important that they have service somewhere in the background there, right? Just because someone has a degree in biology or I've seen people working at agencies with just very random degrees, but you cannot teach service, right? You want to speak about that? I mean, Juan, you've trained many employees, right? You can't teach good customer service.
Yeah, absolutely. I was responsible for basically overall the customer experience, and with the company that we were before, that was a number one priority. That's what set us apart from all of our competitors. So being customer focused was huge for us. If a customer came and complained to me, we would have a survey, and then the director of the store would actually, the first thing he would do in the morning would be like, how many customer complaints, how many customer compliments. That was his priority, so I made that my priority. It was because at the end of the day, without customers, we were not a company. They were the ones that paid our paycheck. They're the ones that were loyal. They were the ones that we wanted to make it an overall amazing experience, because anyone could have the product that we carried. The product wasn't really what made us fantastic. It was the experience of going into the store and making sure that they wanted to come back and that they loved what we had to offer.
Exactly. And, two words that I always use to sum that point up is being customer-centric. And that speaks volumes to being and what customer-centric really means. So for everyone out there listening, surrogates, intended parents, when you're vetting a surrogacy agency, you really want to look at an agency that is being ran by or has management that takes into consideration what their team looks like, their talent bench, their business structure. Do they actually understand business acumen? Do they have a CRM that helps manage all the clients and surrogates, or are they just using a pen and pad? Because trust me, you don't want all of your private HIPAA-compliant type of items just laying out there on someone's desk written on a notepad. You don't want all of your private, intimate details of your surrogacy journey just written in someone's calendar. You want all of that locked down on secure servers in a CRM, being managed by people that understand the sensitivity of all of that information, that understand business acumen, that understand customer service. And so when you're vetting, take a look at LinkedIn profiles, take a look at the staff, Google search the staff. I would say take a look at all of that. It's very, very important. And Juan over here is saying, "Oh no, don't do that." But I think it really is so important. I mean, what do you think?
Oh my gosh, your team is your business, and especially in an industry like this, one bad seed could make enough people feel uncomfortable in this situation that it could be the experience could go really wrong. And so what Juan was saying is his job to keep people coming back. Well, in this business, we're working with a customer for a year and a half. So it's not about keeping them coming back. They have to come back. We want to make sure that they're happy coming back and calling us throughout each milestone and being updated. And we're taking extra care to remember where they're at in their journey. So it's about keeping the customers happy for the entire course of their journey and then beyond. And we stay in touch with
and part of keeping clients happy, and then on the medical side of it, the reproductive endocrinologists and clinic staff, they refer to our clients as patients. And so we're speaking about patients and clients and surrogates. In what I would say is be honest about matching timelines, right? That also goes to the core of providing good service. I wouldn't tell a client I could find them a surrogate within 2 months if I know it's really going to take 6 to 8 months just to get their business and then lock them in and then pull kind of the switcheroo on them. I really think that it's important that agencies should be very honest about the timeline to match a client with a surrogate and what all of the different components are. Why does it take 6 to 8 months? And I feel like if you're honest with your clients about matching timeline, regardless of, everyone wants to be matched as soon as possible. But if you just go out of your way to explain the fact that you really don't want to be matched in 2 months or 2 weeks, you want that process to play out and you want that surrogate to be vetted properly, and you explain all of those details, you are creating an environment in which the service will be so much better for that client. They won't be disappointed when you don't match them instantly. They will feel a sense of integrity and trust between you and them. And I think that really speaks to the core of building that relationship with your clients.
Definitely. And you should, something I think that's really important that I've noticed here is not feeling rushed. So as an intended parent or as a surrogate, you have questions and concerns. You should never feel like you're being rushed off the phone. The other day, Frank was on I believe it was a consultation.
Yeah, it was. It was a consultation call.
Usually those last about a half hour, but that's not because we set it that way. Frank purposely sets his appointments very far apart in case, like what happened this week, the call went on for a really long time. Poor Juan was so sweet. He was waiting to go for lunch until the call was over.
It was like over an hour,
right?
Juan?
Assistant needs to be there. He said, I need to go to lunch. But as a team, and Frank was in his office conducting the call, we were talking about how great it is that he is taking that time. So clearly this intended parent needed reassurance. They needed a lot of questions answered. We totally get it. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of time. It's a lot of emotional commitment. And Frank was just on the phone with him for as long as he needed. And I think that's really important to not be a 30-minute block. And sorry, I got to get to my 1 o'clock. Sorry, I got to get to my 1:30. Right. It's just not...
right. No,
it's not the way we run things. Excuse me.
Right. No, absolutely. We spread out the consultations just for that purpose, so that everyone gets all of their due time that they need. Exactly. And everyone is special and everyone is important to us. And I quite honestly am not going to treat people like they're just a number. I've been through the process. It is intimate. It is emotional. I know that when I go to a store or I spend money with any sort of company, whether it be on cosmetics or whatever I like to buy, and we won't go into all that.
Frank's facial cream.
My facial creams. I want a service, and I want to be taken care of. Even if it's just something I've ordered online, I look at the way the box presents itself when it shows up. Did FedEx damage it? And then what does the actual packaging look like? I want the whole experience with that item. And I feel like when people call a surrogacy agency to embark on the most important thing that they will ever do in their life, they deserve to have stellar service. And so just going back to my original point here, that this podcast is about bringing service back to surrogacy and to the industry. It's just vitally important. So for everyone out there listening, take the time to vet the agency. If you need to do multiple consultation calls with them, do it. Judge them based on, their staff lineup. How quickly do they respond to your emails and to your phone calls? Because that's so important. If it takes them 2 to 3 days to get back to you just to get a consultation scheduled, just think of how it will be like pulling teeth when you engage with them and pay them money and then you have questions halfway throughout your journey. It will not be a very pleasant experience. So with that said, Golden Surrogacy, we go above and beyond for our clients every single time. because we're bringing staff on board that understand service, that understand how to take care of people in general, which is just so important. And then layer that with the fact that I've been an intended parent, and I know how critically important all of these things are. And with that said, I don't have anything else. I think we've really touched base on and beaten it as much as we can. Service, how so critically important it is. And you're going to say something. You're getting ready to say something? No?
I was going to say, we're really excited to have Juan on board. He's doing a great job so far. He's definitely an overachiever, and he's like, I don't have any experience with surrogacy. How am I going to? He's learning so fast. And me and Frank were laughing earlier. Not many people do have experience with working for surrogacy agencies unless you end up working for one. And if you have a good enough boss and someone that's willing to really guide you through, you will learn really fast and quickly become an expert. And Juan's already just doing.
He is.
Really,
he's doing
really
a great
well.
job.
And he's so well dressed. He is just,
so well. He's like trying to one up me all the time.
He's showing us up. Yeah. It's kind of a shame.
So thank you, Juan. And to your point, there are no specific degrees or majors to specialize in surrogacy management. Not yet anyway.
Right.
And I feel like the industry is such that there should be minors or even majors in this field, but that'll be a whole other topic. And we'll bring in some professors and we'll talk about the whole micro and macroeconomics of that. But with that said, all of you out there that like our podcast and you share our podcast and our blogs and you follow us on social media, thank you so much. You're sharing our content, and it really means a lot to me personally that you're taking the time to listen to me and read all of our content. I know all of you out there are busy and you're trying to gather as much information as you can about surrogacy, and so it means a lot that we're becoming a source. It really does.
Definitely. And, our whole goal with these podcasts and the blogs is to inform, but also to spread our mission that everyone deserves a family. It's what the company's founded on, and really what we practice every day. And so, when you listen or when you read, you're definitely contributing to that mission. And we thank you for that. It really does mean a lot.
Yes. And with that said, please, if you have not in the past already, you'll be able to find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, at Golden Surrogacy is our handle. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in to this podcast segment. This is Frank Golden reminding you that everyone deserves a family.